The elephant is one of the most intelligent and social creatures on this planet. It can also be one of the most environmentally destructive creatures as well. Each one eats about 400 pounds of food every day. In the early 1900s, the elephant population of South Africa was on the brink of disappearing. However, conservation efforts brought back the population. These efforts worked so well, in fact, that soon Kruger National Park in South Africa was overpopulated with elephants. With no natural predators, elephant populations have no other controls besides natural deaths and environmental factors. Problems were occurring around the country with elephants flattening forests and eating the crops of farmers. By the 1960s, elephant culling was happening throughout the park in an effort to protect the environment. For those who might not know, culling essentially means killing, and it was done by the thousands. Over 14,000 elephants were killed between 1967 and 1995, when culling practices were banned. Besides the obvious cruelty factor that comes from shooting thousands of elephants with rifles from a helicopter, there are other problems associated with culling. Today, there are many elephants in South Africa living with the consequences of culling. Those that survived decades ago often show signs of a symptom very similar to PTSD. Though culling was banned in South Africa in 1995, many to this day still believe culling is the only viable option to save the environment from the overpopulated, destructive elephants. I disagree. I believe that a combination of more humane techniques will be able to stabilize South Africa's elephant population so that it will decrease over time, rather than slaughtering them by the thousands. The first thing is to reduce the number of watering holes available, which has been done in many areas and has been shown to slow the reproduction rate. Traditionally, elephants would have to migrate around large areas to find water. Conservation efforts, however, added many man-made watering holes that made it easy for elephants to stay in one area, which leads to the degradation of that area due to the massive amounts of food elephants eat. The second thing is elephant birth control. It works, and it is a much more humane option. Rather than being shot with rifles, female elephants are darted with hormones that prevent them from producing more elephants. This method has been implemented successfully in smaller reserves around the country, but due to the size of Kruger National Park and the immense number of elephants there, it is a bit more challenging, since yearly booster shots are necessary for the birth control to stay in effect. I think with more organization, more funding, and more effort, this method is a viable way to ethically reduce the elephant population to protect South Africa's ecosystems and food resources.